Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the InfoWar at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast. Direct from Austin, you're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe that society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for, by, and of the people.
The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
Hello, me. Meet the real me and my misfits way of life.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and we were talking to Habu from Wisconsin, one of our callers, just before we went to break. He was about to make a point about Obama recreating history. Habu, go ahead. I'm sorry we had to go to a break. Pick up.
Not at all. Thank you. I'll just break it down into about 4 sentences and just a brief commentary after each. One of the lies that was mentioned was the Iraq War was a subject of vigorous debate, not just around the world, but in the United States as well, which is patently false. People like Phil Donahue, who were going to talk honestly about it, his show was removed. On the other hand, you had people like Judith Miller within the New York Times who was topping this kind of information, which was patently false, and then being regurgitated by the criminal class. Mm-hmm. The second lie is America sought to work within the international system. Of course, we all know that is completely false. When it was apparent that it would be vetoed in the Security Council, the U.S. administration withdrew it from the Security Council so that it didn't have a no to deal with. So it went on its own, just as it did with Kosovo earlier with Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is we did not claim or annex Iraq's territory. We did not grab its resources for our own gain. You know, they may as well have the United States administration have annexed Iraqi territory. It's been effectively partitioned so that the Kurds who are on the side of the U.S. Have been able to extract oil and sell it privately to Western oil producers. And the last one is this is what Obama said: we ended our war and left Iraq to its people and a fully sovereign Iraqi state that could make decisions about its own future. He didn't care to mention that once President Maliki of Iraq saw that his main support was coming from Iran and that the United States was dispensable and, of course, was most hated by the people there, he refused to give Obama an extension, even though we have thousands of mercenaries doing work there, and they are effectively our armed forces there.
Yes, exactly.
On the ground.
I guess we should feel better about the fact that instead of having the U.S. Army there, we've got a lot of hired mercenaries and $1 billion embassy there that's like a fortress. I don't think that we've really left Iraq, as I don't think you probably believe that either. I don't think we're going to leave Afghanistan for a very long time either. As a matter of fact, they're saying that we're going to be there for a couple of more decades. And when you look at what's happening in Afghanistan, for example, they had dropped under the Taliban to 10% of the world supply of poppies for things like heroin, that sort of thing. Now they're at 90%, and they're having record crops year after year. And, of course, Afghanistan is also one of the most concentrated sources of lithium in the world, and lithium is a key component of modern batteries. So I think we're going to be there for quite some time. It's always about the resources. We see that happening in the Ukraine as well. We see the IMF coming in, offering them a loan. It's like hooking a young college student. You know, here's your easy money, but don't worry, there's going to be some heavy strings on the back end of that. And, of course, they're coming out right away and saying that they're going to nationalize the natural gas, the gas pipelines that are there. They're also going to be seeing 50% increases in energy costs for the people of the Ukraine. It's something that we see this pattern over and over again, and yet we see people, and there was an article on Drudge about secession and how people are demonstrating all over Europe. There are small groups that are now demonstrating. They had a demonstration in Brussels. They wanted to have self-determination. And it's getting increasingly difficult for the EU to hide the hypocrisy of bragging about Ukraine following self-determination and secession, and then crying about the fact that the Crimea leaves that, or crying about the fact that Scotland wants to leave the UK, or that Venice wants to leave Italy. There are a lot of people out there who want government to be closer to them so they can get more control of it. We're losing control of the government in every single way. Thank you, Habu. One of the examples of how we're losing control of the government is right in Long Island. Look at this story from Westbury, New York. Now, this is a small community, about 15,000 people. There's a task force there, a police task force, that is going to inspect homes without notice for unpermitted guests. That's right. You've got a home. You're paying property taxes, as they point out in this article. This is from policestateusa.com. People are paying like typical $9,000 a year in taxes. You've got a lot of people that are bringing in relatives or friends and charging them sublease. They don't like that. So they're calling that illegal tenants in your home. Since when do you have to get permission from the government to have somebody stay in your home? But it's even worse than that. They're going to have zero tolerance policy. This is what Westbury is bragging about. Say homeowners in the Long Island community of Westbury have had their private property rights abridged to the point where they cannot even make autonomous decisions about what's going to happen inside their own homes. Cops are going to sweep through communities and conduct housing inspections without notice. A presentation given at a town hall meeting included a prop that explained the changes. The poster included the following statement: modify search warrant law to eliminate prior notice. Aggressively use warrants and housing sweeps on a regular basis. Done. There you go, done. That's where we are. Your home is no longer your castle. Even though you might pay more than $9,000 in taxes on it, you don't have any say-so as to who you have in your house or what you do with it. And most importantly, they don't have to give you notice. They don't need a warrant. They're just going to aggressively sweep the homes on a regular basis and break into your homes. That's the America that we're starting to live in. We've got Dennis in Oregon got back on the line. Dennis, you want to tell us about Oath Keepers?
Hi, David. Yeah, I listened to the interview that Alex had with Stuart Rhodes back in November last year with the Oath Keepers.
Yes.
And in that interview, he talked about they want to go operational and they want to set up civilization preservation teams. And I just want to share briefly kind of how that's been going in my neighborhood.
Sure. Go ahead.
But after the interview, I went to their site and I found out who my local Oath Keepers guy was and called him up. And I found out that they want to use, as much as possible, work with existing groups that people are used to. So they want to reinvent the wheel and so forth, like Neighborhood Watch and Search and Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called up, so I said, well, I can do Neighborhood Watch, and so I called up the local neighborhood community policing cop in our county, who's in charge of Neighborhood Watch, and she sent me out two things. One, she sent me out a list of the crimes that had been committed in our precinct, the previous year, and then she sent me out the Neighborhood Watch materials. And it's interesting that in those Neighborhood Watch materials, they have a list of about 20 activities in addition to just security. And this includes things like neighborhood gardens, exercise group, game night, disaster preparedness, things that the community can do together.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, David, we just went door to
Hello? Oh, I think we just lost the phone line there. Okay, phone system just went down, but we've got some breaking news here. Now, some of you may not have caught Piers Morgan's farewell. It's such a shame because, it was such a typical Piers Morgan show. He had like about 55 minutes of irrelevancy and 5 minutes of irritating stupidity. Typical. That's why he's leaving now. What he talked about for 55 minutes was the missing airplane, for which there's no new information. Guess what? It's still missing. I saw this weekend, I was in a restaurant and they had CNN up there and they were talking about the black box and how they could get data out of the black box. They hadn't found the black box. They were just talking about, if we were to find the black box, this is how we would get the information off. This is CNN. And this is Piers Morgan, and we're going to have some comments about what he said right after the break, so stay tuned.
Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, units. We have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicic